2022 has been such a strange year for video games because we're now about 16 months into the lifespan of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, but things have been incredibly one-sided for this entire year. Like, consider the fact that Sony is just releasing banger after banger. Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, we're about to get The Last of Us remake, there's Stray, and now, of course, God of War Ragnarok. But something about Ragnarok specifically has seemed to stir up the Xbox fanboys. I have seen complete Microsoft cultists, hundreds and hundreds of tweets making up the most outlandish conspiracy theories or claiming the game looks like absolute garbage. And I want to dig through some very absurd, mean tweets today because honestly, they're pretty hilarious. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hope you're having a very good day. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's begin with the objective fact that most normies are very, very excited for the idea of God of War Ragnarok. As you can see here, I have a tweet by Benji Sales. He has combined a bunch of the analytical data that shows that the newest announcement for God of War Ragnarok, just its release date, has literally millions and millions of likes and engagement and views. People are excited for the game itself. Now, I do think that for the most part, people either want to play this game or they're willing to just watch this game. I think that some people who only play on Xbox, they're probably just saying, you guys have fun, we'll have our games next year. In fact, here's one. Colt Eastwood, still one of my very favorite Xbox-focused YouTubers. This guy pretty much only does Xbox videos, and he says this, 2022, and I'm frustrated by the lack of major first-party games. I'm glad that Xbox studios have chosen to delay games instead of rushing them like Halo Infinite. Still lots of great games coming to 2022 and Xbox. This is a completely reasonable take. I think that most people, even if they only own an Xbox, are realizing, okay, there's still stuff to play. But others have completely lost their minds. Okay, so it's difficult not to mock these people more, but you're going to see a lot of terms like Sony Pony, and it's difficult not to just completely laugh at these weirdos. Oh man, so the ponies are bragging about a CGI trailer for God of War Ragnarok. I thought y'all hated CGI trailers, especially when Microsoft and Xbox do it. Like, people like this, there is going to be a lot of ridiculous nitpicking, but some of these are just ridiculous. Like right here, here's the only snippet of God of War Ragnarok gameplay. It's unedited. Look at this. LOL. It looks just like the first game. Crying emoji, crying emoji. God of War Ragnarok is overpriced, glorified DLC. Clown emoji, clown emoji, clown emoji. You ponies are getting scammed hard. My favorite thing about a lot of these weirdo Xbox fanboys is honestly that they all have like Master Chief icons. Look, I love Master Chief. I've read 20 of the Halo books, but this is just, there's something about this is so uniquely pathetic, and I have to freaking laugh at it. I love the way that they just put so many of these emojis in their tweets. Here's one, Joe Schmo. Like, look, I'm super excited that freaking God of War Ragnarok looks so good. And this guy replies, it looks exactly like God of War 2018. There's no real improvements or reimagining. They literally said it was DLC, but it got too big. Crying emoji. Like, look, Joe Schmo, I hate to keep doing the crying voice, but this dude definitely seems like he's like, they literally said it was DLC. Look, buddy, the only thing that's too big is when I destroy your mother with my... Anyways, so you can see here, a lot of people making fun of this guy. Joe Schmo, people are like, he put the crying emoji, the total package. You got a source for that claim? The source is that I made it the F up. I'm laughing about these people. Lots and lots and lots of reaching. Here is definitely, I'll admit it, this is the tweet that originally inspired it. If you don't know this guy, Xbox University. Xbox University is a Xbox cultist. You know what? Do whatever you want in your free time. This guy goes into Twitter Spaces, which are like these group chats, and pretty much 15 hours a day, this guy just claims that Xbox is the God King and that Phil Spencer is going to finally be his real dad. I have no idea. But anyways, this dude absolutely hates Sony with a fiery passion. Now, I saw this tweet here. After I finish God of War Ragnarok in record time over the course of a single weekend, then I'll turn my attention to the game that'll keep us engaged for a decade. #Starfield. Now, I had to say this. Dudes out here already bragging about how they want to rush through God of War Ragnarok. Freaks out here. Now, this is just absurd to me because look, honestly, I do think, let's just face facts. In one way, he is correct. I do think that God of War Ragnarok is probably going to be about 20 hours, 25 hours, something like that. To me, that's a pretty good length. I'm somebody that tries to platinum games, so I'll probably spend maybe 50 hours on it, going through it multiple times, trying out the harder difficulties, finding other collectibles. So objectively, I do think that myself, I'll probably end up spending more time with Starfield because hypothetically it is a big Bethesda RPG. I usually put a couple hundred hours in it, but this already, like, bragging about rushing through it. I'm going to beat it in a single weekend. Xbox, right here, bud, you sound like the kind of guy who plays games on easy and then brags about beating games on easy. So have fun rushing straight through that game. Now, here's the interesting one that really kind of caught my eye as well. Frosk, obviously the extremely controversial G4 host, she has made a lot of statements that have sort of confused people. She has claimed that Microsoft is winning the console wars and that Sony is, literal quote, Sony is dead in the water. Or sorry, she said PlayStation is dead man walking. So you're going to see a lot of people replying dead man walking in the replies here, making fun of her. So she says this: I feel like God of War on a November release date is because they want to hit that holiday quarter and maybe not because that's a reasonable launch date. Hope there's no crunch and everything is going according to plan. She's just straight up making up conspiracy theories, just claiming out of thin air with absolutely no evidence that they're somehow abusing their employees to get this game done. Very bizarre. So Corey Balrog, the guy who's actually working on the game, says, I feel like we thought a lot about what date is best and chose the best date for the team, the game, and the fans. Look at this. Absolute dunk. She had 800 likes, 7,000. I'm going to like that too. Look at that. Corey Balrog dropping truth bombs. Now, a lot of people saying the game was delayed twice. It's crazy how she speaks so much on things she doesn't know what she's talking about. Look at that. After her Xbox will smoke PlayStation in 2022 comment, I stopped taking anything she said seriously. It's my good buddy Brap. Now, I think this is the most interesting reply, which is by Ryan McCaffrey. Some people consider this guy to be much more of an Xbox shill. He definitely prefers Xbox. Nothing wrong with that. I prefer PlayStation, but I own all consoles. I play all exclusives. And he's saying right here, when has Sony ever shoved something out to make a specific quarter? They've never been the kind of publisher. Heck, more of their big tentpole releases have come out Q1 and Q2 than the big almighty Q4 when you look across their entire first-party portfolio. Look at this truth bomb. He's literally saying Sony doesn't rush games because they're going to sell no matter what. And she's like, oh, that's good. You know, I'm just afraid of crunch because I hear stuff. Look at this. Your clown ass was fine with Starfield releasing on the same day. Oh my God. She just wants any reason to hate. Okay, so this stuff is absurd, but I want to show you the true gold mine. Prepare yourself. So this stuff is very funny. And it's interesting to laugh at them. But there has actually been this very bizarre swarm of Xbox fanboy hate towards Jeff Keighley. Obviously, we all know Dorito Pope, the guy who runs the Game Awards. Well, Jeff Keighley literally being bombarded with conspiracy theories about the fact that he is trying to rewrite the rules. So this tweet is in Spanish, but if you auto-translate it, it says that right now, Jeff Keighley has moved the cutoff date for the Game Awards eligibility to be in line with the release date of God of War Ragnarok. People are for some reason claiming that because God of War Ragnarok comes out in November, it can't be part of the Game Awards, which is in December. Right now, here's look at this is inaccurate. Eligibility last year extended till November 19th. Look at this. People are saying, we expect consistency in your actions according to what is mentioned. Look at this. Forza was nominated and won an award. You guys are so off base. So what happened is last year, Forza Horizon 5 came out. People loved it. I played it. It wasn't super my cup of tea because at the time I wasn't super in like the mood for a big racing game. Well, for whatever reason, people just assumed that it would not win any awards. It did win awards. There are these Xbox freaks, though, who claim that Jeff Keighley hates Xbox or that Jeff Keighley wanted Forza to fail. which, I mean, literally is just made up gobbledygook. But there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tweets being directed at him where he's like, I literally, look, your gymnastic efforts to put God of War as the Game of the Year nominee is amazing. Gymnastic efforts. I've literally seen people doing these compilations. Everybody is straight up saying, like, look, Jeff Keighley, you've extended the deadline. Look, I didn't do it. Interesting. Where did you hear that? Look at this. This is an inaccurate story. Forza was eligible. Like, this is so bonkers. Why wasn't it a nominee? Forza was one of the most loved games, and yet you didn't even consider it. This is a cherry-picked nomination. Like, these people are just psycho. They're psycho. A first-party Sony game comes out with the cutoff date magically being changed. Wow, you're such a fanboy. Every one of these tweets, you can hear the tears in their eyes. Lately, I've been reading a bunch of Berserk, and I like the story of Guts, the main character, just fighting off entire armies with his huge, gigantic sword, and reading Jeff Keighley trying to fight off the swarms of complete lies from weird Xbox dudes. It sort of reminds me of Berserk, of just trying to push people away with facts and logic. The entirety of this situation is funny to me because, honestly, I do think that right now Sony is on a roll. Sony is kicking butt. I think 2022 has been their year pretty much entirely. But that's not the case for every year. Right now, I think that Sony is by far on top. But once we start to see more games from Nintendo, I think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to shift the conversation. If we get a more powerful Switch, I think it's going to change the conversation quite a bit. Xbox next year, I do think that Starfield is going to be a bop. I know there's been a lot of hate towards Xbox's next game, Redfall. I think Redfall looks great. I'm a big fan of Arcane. I think that Xbox is going to completely dominate next year. Like, even stuff like Hellblade Senua's Saga are going to be huge contenders. But as it stands, this just happened to be Sony's year. You don't have to be mad. You don't need to cry. You don't need to make up crazy conspiracy theories, stories about how everybody hates your favorite plastic box. Just touch grass. But also like this video. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and please keep dreaming. Oh my gosh, this is just ridiculous. I did actually talk about Berserk. I've been playing Berserk. This is actually one of the rarest PlayStation 4 games, and I now own it. Look at that. Berserk Band of the Hawk. Look at that. Video games. Okay, I love you guys very much. Go play some Xbox. Go play some PS4. Go play some PS5. Go play anything. I don't care. Just go game. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.